Our top story: things seem to be settling down in Sudan. Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok, who's reinstated by the military after last month's coup, says he has been granted complete freedom to form a government of technocrats. Hamdok reportedly made the remark hours after inking a political deal with the military. Reports say the two sides also agreed to hold elections by July 2023. Earlier on Sunday, the country's military reinstated Hamdok and promised to release all political prisoners. The premier said he had agreed to the deal to stop the bloodshed, but the opposition and trade unions have voiced their opposition to the agreement. So they are demanding a full civilian rule in Sudan. The development comes after weeks of deadly unrest triggered by the October 25th coup. More than 40 protesters have been killed in the military crackdown since then. From London, we're joined by Jonathan Ofe-Ensa, a publisher with Africa Briefing. Jonathan, welcome. Will Hamdok be given the freedom that the opposition are demanding? You never know with Sudan. There are so many foreign hands at play interfering in this country.
Well, I am not very sure. Though on paper he's going to be given a free hand. In reality, I doubt if the military is going to give him a free hand, because the demand of the civilian protesters has been, for the military to totally disengage from the country's political terrain, and this they haven't done. They are still part of the transitional government. So I'm not sure that Abdullah Hamdok is going to have 100% control.
As we speak, or as of the past few hours, there are people pouring their anger on the streets in Sudan. Do you think these demonstrations will continue?
Yes, I do admire, the resolve of the Sudanese people. We mustn't forget that it was largely through their persistent protest that led to the overthrow of the former president al-Bashir 2 years ago, and they are determined. I think the people of Sudan must have taken their cue from the Arab Spring, which was largely successful, and I believe they are not going to give in until they see their demands met fully.
And Jonathan, what are the full demands of the protesters that have not been agreed yet between the civilian, side of Hamdok and the military side of Burhan?
As far as I know, I mean, the only demand that hasn't been met, is the military still involved in politics. That's the only demand I know of. Okay, so until that is met, but I believe that maybe there might be some external influences, maybe from the US, from the AU, from the allies in the Middle East, mainly Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and so on and so forth, to bring pressure to bear upon the military. General Burhan and co. to leave politics completely. Maybe that if the allies, overseas allies, bring that pressure to bear, maybe they might acquiesce and leave politics completely.
Okay, and just finally, do you think that will happen, Jonathan? We know General Burhan had great ties with, for example, Saudi Arabia, often made many visits there.
Yes, I mean, the closer you are, to the government or to the country, I mean, the greater the influence. So if your ally, tells you that, look here, I believe it would be wise for you to take this move, I believe it will work. And again, they need money. I mean, Sudan, after so many years of isolation, is now back in the international fold. Sudan has been removed from the list of state sponsors of terrorists. America has canceled some of its debts, and there's a $700 million, in the pipeline for the US, which has been frozen. France was considering cancelling or rescheduling Sudan's debts to France. That has also been put on hold. So these are some of the external influences that may maybe push General Buhan and his allies, military allies, to think twice and maybe leave the podcasting completely.
Right, and that might upset some of Sudan's allies. Jonathan, anyway, thank you for your contribution. Jonathan Ofe Answer, publisher at Africa Briefing, joining us live from the British capital, London.